2 months ago, Iran and the US restarted nuclear negotiations despite objections from Israel. The goal was to reach a deal that could prevent military escalation. And if Mr. Trump's style is any guide, he was looking for something quick and flashy.
But things have since gone sideways. Israel struck Iranian nuclear sites, Iran retaliated, and now the fate of the deal is anyone's guess. So how did we get here? So slowly and yet so quickly. On April 8, President Trump sat in the Oval Office with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and told reporters that the US is going to negotiate with Iran no matter what. On camera, the two men, both in matching red ties, looked uneasy, Trump pushing for a quick deal and Netanyahu clearly uncomfortable with the idea of negotiating with Israel's greatest adversary. The tense encounter gave the impression that diplomacy was the plan and may have tricked Tehran into thinking war wasn't an option.
We're having direct talks with Iran, and they've started. It'll go on Saturday. We have a very big meeting, and we'll see what can happen. And I think everybody agrees that doing a deal would be preferable to doing the obvious. And the obvious is not something that I want to be involved with, or frankly, that Israel wants to be involved with if they can avoid it. So we're going to see if we can avoid it. But it's getting to be very dangerous territory.
Morgan Ortagus, the US Deputy Middle East Envoy, told The National the same day that Washington was seeking a peaceful resolution with Iran and was aiming for a quick deal.
We like deals, we know how to get to deals. We're not focused on a lot of the process. I think that we're in a hurry, so to speak, this time.
Were the US and Israel bluffing? According to multiple sources, Mr. Trump gave the negotiations a 2-month deadline to produce results. During his May tour of the Gulf, he even remarked that Iranians should thank Qatar for keeping war at bay. But Iran took its time, perhaps believing it still held the same leverage it had a decade ago when it brokered the original nuclear deal. The reality? It didn't. The ground had shifted and Iran's back was more exposed than ever. Tehran stalled, resisted compromises, and Washington turned up the pressure. Then came the early hours of June 13, exactly 2 months after the first round of talks in Oman, when Israeli warplanes, drones and missiles launched a surprise wave of strikes, killing several top Iranian generals. The timing wasn't accidental. The attacks came just hours after a new IAEA report suggested Iran had seriously breached its nuclear obligations, the worst such finding in 2 decades. Iran's response was immediate. Missiles slammed into Tel Aviv and other cities. Officials warned this was only the beginning of a broader retaliation. And yet, Tehran hasn't walked away. Despite the assault, it's still signaling openness to another round of talks. The oil-rich country is now in a very difficult position. Militarily exposed, its regional arms weakened, its economy gasping for air. If it comes back to the table, it risks looking weak. If it doesn't, Israel wins by blowing up the diplomatic track altogether.
This may be the most serious threat to the regime of the Islamic Republic since the Iran-Iraq War of the 1980s. And unless a compromise is reached soon, things could get even worse, as Mr. Trump has warned.